Welcome back and good morning. It is 4:45 here on your Thursday. We're getting ready for more heat and humidity and not a whole lot of rain. We're also following the tropics. If you're just joining us, we have been following this tropical wave for many days. Still very unorganized this morning, sitting down just near the Caribbean islands. We're talking the Greater Antilles, and it is large and unorganized. That's the first thing we want to note. The second thing is that it's traveling near land right now, and it's traveling over the mountainous areas. So there's still a lot of uncertainty on what this might do because, one, it's not organized. We don't have a center of circulation, and two, we're running over these Caribbean islands, which can really distort things and can keep things moving around and unpredictable. So that's the first thing to note, that there's quite a bit of uncertainty with this deal. Now, here is the area we think the center may try to come together here by this weekend. So by Friday about here, tomorrow, running near Cuba, and then that tropical wave moving up to the north, getting a turn to the north. Saturday in the southeastern Gulf to near South Florida. Sunday about here, and then by Monday of this coming week, somewhere near North Florida and maybe the Panhandle or just off of our coast by 100 miles or so. So there is the potential that this is more of a Gulf system rather than a Atlantic system, which is what we were predicting yesterday. So some changes have happened overnight here with our models. Now, once again, the big problem right now in the unpredictability is it's broad, it's unorganized, and it's running over the mountainous areas of the Dominican Republic. Those are the mountains of the Dominican Republic that it's going to be moving over the next day or so. Now, once we get into Saturday, you can see the GFS being a little bit more aggressive with some spin developing. The Euro not as aggressive now and not showing much through Saturday early in the morning. Now, once we get to Saturday afternoon, they both start to show some low pressure developing in a very similar spot of the eastern Gulf. And then fast forwarding into Monday, you can see they do both bring an area of moisture and spin towards the Florida Panhandle, very similar location. Now, this is where it gets even crazier. I want you to watch this. These two models, watch what they do. They stop moving and they just start meandering. This is next Thursday, nearly a week from now. We could potentially still have some whatever's left over of this moisture. Could be a depression, could be a tropical storm hanging out off the Gulf Coast here. Now, the reason for this chaotic movement all has to do with our wild steering currents that are about to take place. So for now, here's what's happening. It's moving around the ridge of high pressure. That's why it's moving. Why is it going to get tugged to the north this weekend? Well, that ridge weakens, and that allows it to start to move to the north. Now, if it is still in the northern Gulf by early next week, the big heat ridge, it's coming back. And what that does is it collapses the steering currents and you don't get any movement in the atmosphere. And that's why models just have it kind of hanging around in the northern Gulf next week. So you can check every single box for what makes this unpredictable at this point. We're still not exactly 100% sure how this is going to evolve. We do want you to watch it through the weekend. We don't want any surprises sneaking up on you early next week. But we still have a couple more days to iron out these details, see how things evolve. Hopefully it doesn't really organize that quickly, but you know how these goes. You do have to follow them. So just check in at least twice a day now to see what things look like in the morning, maybe in the afternoon, but certainly in the evening before you head to bed. Our other big story is the heat. It is hot and humid this morning. We're going to stay feeling like the 110s at times the next couple of days. Be very, very careful if you're going to be out in the heat. We only have a 20% chance of rain today, a 20% chance of rain tomorrow. Now, what's interesting is as that ridge breaks down, starts to pull that moisture to the north, it also increases our rain chances. So we'll have a few more storms here Saturday and Sunday, hopefully knocking our temperatures down just a couple of degrees. And then next week, Brandon, of course, we're watching the tropics, but outside of that, we're watching more heat and more humidity.